Panhala, the famous historical fort in the Kolhapur state in southern Maratha country, is situated 2,772 feet above sea level. It is 12 miles northwest of the city of Kolhapur. There is an excellent road all the way right into the fort, the last 5 miles having a steep ascent. Panhala and its sister fort Panhalgarh are on the summits of a spur of the Sahyadri range known as Western Ghats. The hill stands up boldly 700 feet above the Kolhapur plains, and its uppermost top, crowned by the fort, rises 275 feet above the uplands. The plateau is about 4 miles in circumference, half the distance of which is protected by a natural sharp scarp 32 feet high, strengthened by loopholed parapet walls, and the rest is fortified by strong stone walls 15 to 30 feet wide, with bastions and ramparts. This is reputed to be one of the strongest and impregnable hill forts in India from military point of view. The elaborate fortifications which it possesses at present were added to it at various periods. It has 3 magnificent double gateways which are reached from the tableland by long flights of stone steps. Of the 3 gateways, the 2 Ganga Darwaza or Tiger Gate and 4 Darwaza or 4-doored gate have been destroyed, and only the 3rd Teen Darwaza is now entirely intact. These 3 gates belong to the Bahmani dynasty of the 15th century, and the Teen Darwaza, which is the only one in existence now, is regarded as a good specimen of its kind, with much tracery work on its jambs and architrave. With these massive gates and strong fortifications, Panhala has played an important part in early Maratha history, and from its present worn-out condition, one thinks as if it is enjoying a well-earned rest like a brave and proud veteran under the peaceful rule of the great Chhatrapati Shivaji's descendants. It is interesting to find the origin of the word Panhala. A famous sage, Parashar, made his residence on this hill. A rock-cut cave to the south of this fort is still shown as the abode of that great sage, who called this place Panhalgarh, or the residence of serpents, and from Panhalgarh the word Panhala is derived. Panhala was named Shah Nabi Durg by the Muslim conquerors and was made a sarkar or division by the Bijapur kings, which consisted of 9 mahakars or districts. Shivaji retained the Hindu name of Panhala and for the convenience of administration made it into a small subha or district, containing only 10 tarfs or talukas, which was subsequently included in Shivaji's Swaraj, that was re-granted to his grandson Raja Shahu by the Mughal emperor in 1719. After 1486, the country witnessed a great revolution in the Deccan. The Bahmani kingdom, weakened by internal dissensions, was in 1489 divided into 5 independent monarchies: Bijapur, Berar, Ahmednagar, Bedar, and Golconda. And in this partition, Panhala and Kolhapur fell to the share of Bijapur or the Adil Shahi dynasty, which held suzerainty over this country for over 150 years. It must have been an auspicious day when the stronghold of Panhala fell into the hands of Shivaji, for never since then has the Maratha banner ceased to wave over it. The Muslim rulers of Bijapur and later on Aurangzeb made great efforts to win it, and though for a while the fort was tossed between the 2 belligerent parties, the wonderful courage and tenacity of the Marathas again and again rose to their highest pitch, and in the long struggle surpassed the efforts of their opponents, and in the end Panhala was established, only more firmly and permanently in the possession of the Marathas. When the tidings of Shivaji's victory over Afzal Khan and the capture of Panhala were received at Bijapur, the king issued orders to Rustam Zaman to proceed against Shivaji and protect the Kolhapur territory. But Shivaji was too quick for him and attacked and defeated him. This created great alarm at Bijapur and a large army was sent under Siddhi Jowar to invest Panhala and recover the lost country. Shivaji, considering Panhala to be a place of greater strength than it really was, decided to defend it in person. The Bijapur army arrived in the neighborhood of Panhala and laid a siege to it for 4 months. Shivaji, being shut up in the fort under the vigilant guard of the enemy, found himself placed in a serious situation. He was a man of daring and his boldness and resourcefulness were wonderful. He opened negotiations with Siddhi Johar about surrendering Panhala and under the pretext of submission managed to escape to Vishalgarh before his plan was suspected. On this occasion, Shivaji, to cover his retreat, stationed a party of Mavaras under the gallant soldier Baji Prabhu Deshpande of Firdas Mawar, who was asked to guard the pass called Ghodkhind until a signal of 5 guns announced the arrival of Shivaji's main body at the fort. Baji Prabhu Deshpande and 300 Mavaras occupied Ghodkhind, blocking the path of the pursuers and made a determined defence against them. His brother Phulaji Prabhu as well as Sardars such as Shambhu Singh Jadhav were present with him. Phulaji Prabhu and Shambhu Singh were killed after a gallant and fierce fight. Baji Prabhu was severely wounded but carried on fighting at his station. The Adil Shahi army of 10,000 repeatedly tried to break through the defences of the pass but were repulsed every time. The battle raged for hours with the defenders maintaining the positions but with rapidly depleting numbers. Only a handful of Marathas survived and around 5,000 soldiers of the Adil Shahi army were killed in attempting to take the pass. 5 hours after the battle started, the cannon fire announcing Shivaji's safe return to Vishalgarh was heard. Almost 300 Marathas had been killed. A gravely injured Baji Prabhu continued engaging the enemy and held the pass, only laying down his life once he heard the sound of cannon fire. From 1673 till the death of Sambhaji in 1689, Panhala continued to be in the possession of the Marathas. Shivaji repaired its fortifications and built a palace for his royal residence. He made readjustment of the country and changed it into a small Suba or Prant instead of the old Sarkar or division under the Bijapur kings. Sajja Kothi. This is one of the most interesting and historical buildings in the old fort. Sajja means terrace and Kothi means building, hence it is called Sajja Kothi. As it stands on the brink of a precipice, it prominently occupies the highest peak on the hill and commands a most beautiful view. It is said that the domes of the mosques at Miraj, which are at a distance of 40 miles, can be seen from this peak. From the stone inscriptions still preserved in the building, it seems that this edifice was built in Suhur San 1008 by Maqsood Aka in the reign of Ibrahim Adil Shah, king of Bijapur. This ancient building is still intact. It is noted for its historical associations. The great Shivaji Maharaj is said to have skillfully escaped from this place to Vishalgarh, and the window is still known as Shivaji's window. This place was selected as a residence by Major Graham, the first political superintendent of Kolhapur, and hence it was known as Graham's Bungalow. It is two-storied, 36 feet by 31 feet in breadth and length, and 41 feet high, with one entrance and a staircase leading to the upper story. It is so situated that, in bygone days, the inmates of the building could witness the dancing and music performances in the Kalavantins or Courtesans Gallery. The fort of Panhala is divided into two portions, the upper fort and the lower fort. The upper fort, also called citadel, is almost in ruins except a few old buildings. In the center of the upper fort was situated the ancient palace, of which nothing now remains except foundations and plinths. The original fort of the Raja Bhoj was repaired and fortified by the Bijapur kings, and the remains of the old fortifications and gateways are the only objects of interest to visitors. Of the three gateways, the Char Darwaza, or the quadruple gate, possessed a stately and majestic appearance. It was blown up after the storming of Panhala by General de la Motte in 1844. The second important gate next to the Char Darwaza is the Teen Darwaza, which was first built by the Bahmani kings and afterwards repaired by Ibrahim Adil Shah. The third gate was known by the name of Wagh Darwaza, or the Tiger Gate. The massive stones on the arch give a faint idea of the strength and size of the gate. There is no inscription available about this gate. Ambarkhana. These are the storerooms built for the purpose of storing grain and provisions for the army, and are situated in the central fort. The building is surrounded by huge fortified walls, ruins of which can still be seen. It contains the three enormous stone and cement granaries named Ganga, Jamna and Saraswati, probably by the Marathas in later period. They are built with arched roofs and are capable of holding provisions for a large army. Of these three, the Ganga is the largest massive building with two entrances. On either side a staircase leading to a terrace where small holes are kept for passing large quantities of grain. The building is 10,200 feet square and 35 feet high. Of the two other granaries, one is 152 feet long, 40 feet broad and 18 feet high, and the other 85 feet long, 35 feet broad and 20 feet high. These granaries could store 25,000 khandis of grain. Besides these, there is another granary called Ganga Kothi situated to the west. It is a stone building 55 feet by 48 feet and 35 feet high, having an entrance and a staircase leading to the terrace. This Kothi, as its name indicates, seems to have been used for storing grain for being distributed in charity to the poor. These granaries give an idea how the grain was stored in forts for military purposes in olden times.